Kindling. Something that is always overlooked in a firewood business. It can also become very complicated in the firewood business as well. There's always things that you think about. Is it worth me doing and selling? That's your one sort of thing. And then you've also got, have I got time to make it, or should I just buy it in? So I've done both, okay? I'm gonna be honest with you, I've done both. We've made our own kindling, got a bit overrun and gone, oh, we haven't had time, then ended up buying it in, and now we've gone back to making our kindling for about just over a year and a bit now. I personally prefer to make my own kindling. And the reason for that is, whenever you're running low or running short, you're not at the mercy of another business being able to supply you, and you haven't got to think about ordering it or anything like that. You can literally go, I'm running out of kindling, let me get some ready, put it on a drying floor, or however you decide to sell it or dry it. There are downfalls to that though. If you don't have a drying facility, then if you had to quickly process some kindling, then you kind of got a problem of, well, that's not dry and you need kindling now, so wholesale comes into it. Now, before I go any further, if you are looking for a really good wholesale supplier, Max Chips is one of the best in the industry, and I'm doing another video on what we've had to do with Max Chips to help us get through this season. So that to one side a sec. When it comes to making kindling, you've got a few options. So you could either buy a machine that's just for kindling, you have enough sales for that, and you really want to increase your output of kindling and potentially increase your profits. The quicker you make it and the cheaper you're buying your timber, the more profit you'll make it from it, as long as you can sell it all. And then you've got people who, you know, have little manual kindling tools where you crack them down or use an axe or use your log splitter. That to me isn't worth it. It takes too much time and I can't see there being any money in it. And then you have the other option, okay? So if you do log splitting and you have a log splitter and you don't want a processor or whatever your reasons are, you can buy a Splitta 400. Now, I've had so many requests of, Joe, can you show us your Splitta 400 splitting logs? But I've had even more requests of, Joe, can you show us your Splitta 400 producing kindling? That's right, you heard me correctly. This machine also produces kindling, and it's one of the reasons why I love it so much. So, if you don't want to buy kindling in from a wholesaler and you have a bit of time, you have a bit of softwood around, you can use this to create your firewood and then flick it over to the kindling setting, which I'm going to show you in a second. There are so many benefits from producing your own kindling. As I said before, you haven't got to wait for anything. You can produce it as you go along. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly our process and how we do things. Let's get started. What's going on, everyone? So I've moved to the back of the yard, right? It's like a secondary compound and we are moving into it full time, but for now I've just done this so I can show you exactly what we do. So for now I've dragged this out into a nice open space so you can clearly see power pack, conveyor and Splitta 400. So the Splitta 400, as you know, can do kindling, and I've just got to wind out the conveyor and we've got some cages there. Now, disclaimer, we don't usually do it in cages. It's very rare we do it into cages. We usually have crates, but what I thought was, if I do it into cages, that gives you a sort of relatable quantity, for example, that you'll know what we get done. So what we do is we take the splitting wedge out of the Uniforest 4020, cut all the rings, cart them over and put them on there. Now, when we usually do it, we go into wooden crates. Wooden crates of different sizes, so you will never know, obviously as a viewer, unless I measure each one, how much kindling we've actually got done. So again, we're using crates. We'll have to put some pallet wrap around the crates just to stop all the you know, kindling falling out. It's not ideal. They will not dry like that or dry very well like that. They might go a bit mouldy. So essentially we'll be tipping them straight out into our normal crates after. But just for the purpose of the video, here are the crates that we're going to be going into, and we'll be putting some wrap around it. So I'm going to head into the other yard now and show you what the setup is. So as you can see, we've got some softwood on the deck. We've got the cab stall there, it's a tipper, and we've got the conveyor going on to that. Now, two things. We usually set the buckets up at the end of the conveyor in between the Splitta 400 and the Uniforest conveyor, okay? Now what that means is that's what we call the buffer. So the rings will come off of the conveyor into the bucket, and we turn the conveyor right down so it's nice and slow so you can see what's coming over, and whoever's manning the Splitta 400 will just pick directly out the bucket, which is chest high, not back breaking, nothing like that, and feed it straight onto the Splitta 400. However, for the purpose of the video, to keep it all neat, to show you exactly what we're doing, we are going to go onto the cab star and drive it round to the Splitta 400 and just pick off the back of the cab star with the tipper, because tips up, it's easier, it's done. So that's that. We have taken the wedge out the Uniforest and we have got the timber in there. I cut a few rings just to make sure we're all set up and they fit through. They do. Now, ours is set at 8 inch, okay? Now, I know a lot of people like 4 inch, 5 inch, 6 inch kindling, but personally, since we've been doing bigger kindling, our customers have preferred it. We give them some old kindling, some new kindling, and just kept asking them, you know, what they prefer. And so far, they prefer the bigger kindling, so we're going to stick by that. We've done that for just over a year now, and we're really happy with it. Getting a lot of good feedback, and a lot of people, you know, switched to us for our kindling, which sounds crazy, but we've had, I'll say, at least 15, 20 customers in the past year who prefer our kindling, probably prefer our wood as well. So I don't want to like give kindling all the credit, but instead you got nice big bags, good sized kindling, you know, they don't get through it too quick, spot on. So what we do is now, let's have a look what time it is. It is now 10 to 5 in the evening. What we do is just at the end of the day, now and again, very rare, but we will literally set it all up like this. It takes 20 minutes max to set up, maybe less, and then we'll blast out some kindling. If you did an hour to 2 hours of kindling, you will have absolutely tons of it. Now that will dry. We've already got kindling there, but that can be left drying in crates and ready to go on when we need them. So anyway, back to the video. So just for demonstration purposes, we have wrapped some pallet wrap around an IBC cage. We have got Jacob the truck. As I said, we only put a few lengths through. Also the sun's going down, so I'll bear that in mind. Right, let's see how long this takes to fill up. As you can hear, the machine is trying to stall. So at this point, there is no log in the chamber, so it's not struggling to split anything. The ram was just not engaging. So I went around the back, had a quick look around, had a fiddle about with a few little bits, and I couldn't get it running. Now, just in perspective, I know you all know that I take a lot of time with these videos. These videos take so much time, and when things like this happen, it's so frustrating. This particular video from start to finish actually took, let's just say, 3 days. I wouldn't say full days, but they take 3 separate days of your time. You will find out why in a minute, so bear with us. I'm going to show you exactly what we did to fix things, and I will show you how we process our kindling and what this machine is capable of. Another thing to remember as well, that this sort of problem, which you will find out, isn't something that's common on this machine. It's just something that, happens. You've got to bear in mind, this machine is so overused in the sense of we use it all day, every day, most days as well. So obviously, as you know, we do contracting and I use it back at the yard. It does some long hours and it is a well-built machine, and I cannot fault firewood, which you will find out later on how they helped. Let's get back to the video. So, we have an issue with the machine. The ram is just not coming out, okay? Which is probably one of the changeover valves. So, I guess I'm not going to be able to show you right now, but I'll show you how to fix it, and then we'll crack on tomorrow. Right then, so locate the changeover valve that operates the splitting ram. So that is the valve there that is closest to the splitting knife. You want to get yourself a good Allen key set with a good fitting Allen key. You don't want anything that's too loose because you'll struggle to undo it. So undo the 4 bolts that attach it, or Allen key bolts, I think they're called. Now, you can see that there is something stuck inside the changeover valve. That needs to be removed. That stops the actual valve inside moving. So I tried to have a little dig around to try and pull it out. However, I made things worse. I shoved it further down and that doesn't help anyone. So instead of taking the easy way, I then started taking it apart. So undo the nut on the back, be careful of the spring. Then locate the 4 bolts on the front. Again, these are Allen key bolts, so undo it. When you remove the end valve block, remember how everything came out and lay it out in order so then you can't make a mistake. I used just a little screwdriver just to push it out. Once I removed it, I dropped a washer, picked the washer back up, and then, like magic, it all came out. So I started putting it back together exactly how I removed it, gave a few bits a little clean, put all your bolts back in. Remember to tighten them up diagonally as best as you can. Obviously, I just nipped them up first and then tightened them diagonally. Add your back bolt back in, and there's the pieces that were stopping it. Now remember, when you're taking things apart, do not lose those rubber seals. There's about 5 rubber seals, do not lose them. Put it all back together. And then fire it up and test it. So we're here again. There is something in this world that does not want me to make this video. I think it's me just showing too good of a secret product that the world is trying to stop me from doing this. So obviously we had the slight machine issue, which I'll talk to you about in a sec. But the main thing is I set all this up, got a couple of buckets of the rings that I'd done before, brought it round to show you, and then it wasn't scheduled to rain today and the heavens opened up. So just a bit of advice, don't do firewood if you can help it in the rain, okay? If you're outdoors, like we are, we do have some undercover areas that we could have done this, but it's just, I had already set it all up and it wasn't planned to rain. It was a very quick shower. When you're processing wet wood, it's going to take longer to dry. So if you can help it, or, you know, if you've got the time, don't worry about it. But if you can help it, try not to process in the wet. And especially when it comes to kindling, because you want to be careful with mold. Luckily enough for us, we are going onto a drying floor once all this is over. So now that's to one side, let's just talk about the repairs. So from time to time, very rarely, you don't clean your ends of your hydraulic hose, which we do. You can end up with a bit of, you know, sawdust, maybe a little log chip, get into your hydraulic system and it can jam the valves that I've showed you how to clean out. Issue is, in our case, it wasn't that. The blue seal came off in the ramp, okay? It broken down and came through. Now, just to be clear, this isn't me saying this is a problem machine. Do not let this put you off this machine. Let's put things into perspective. This machine goes out all the time, okay? I dread to think the amount of thousands and thousands of tons this particular machine has done just this year or just in the past few months. So another thing to bear in mind is a lot of the time, which I don't always show because I do get a bit unprofessional in the evenings when you're a bit tired, I do come back to the yard and fire it up. Okay, so not only has it done a full day, if we're not too far away and I have a bit of time, especially when it's lighter nights, I'll come back here, crack a, you know, do a bit of logging, then the next time I come back I'll do a load of splitting. This machine has been put through its paces. So when that happens, you need to get your ram seal replaced. Luckily enough, this was under warranty still, so we sent it off to Fuelwood, and Fuelwood did a cracking job and got it done within 24 hours max. Like, I dropped it the day before and the next morning they're saying it's ready to pick up. So I'm really, really, really happy with that service. While it was there, they checked through the machine and checked a few other bits and it is running absolutely fine. So that's where we are. Now, I'm in this yard now because we're doing a load of stuff in the other yard, getting things set up. I have the conveyor set up, I have the machine set up, so I can actually produce this video. I've even got the original cage with the wrap around it, just to still show you picking up where we left off. So I think first things first, I should show you how to change your Splitta 400 into a Kindling 400 or Kindling Splitta 400. So let's have a look. So you open the lid, open the side door, which is on a simple catch, and there you have the complete mechanism, okay? Now, I do apologise if the video isn't the best for this. I do sometimes struggle with close-ups. So, as this goes forward in the cycle, this here hits that changeover plate, and as that changes over, it engages the splitter ram. There you go. Now, what you can do is you've got preset holes here, and you set the distance you want this to travel before it engages the changeover. Now, Peter, if you're watching, I am sorry if I didn't get I don't know the terminology correctly. I don't know. I know exactly how it works, but I just always forget the terminology. But anyway, back to the video. So, what we're going to do is, if you pull the pin out, like that, right? The more that way you take it, the bigger your logs come out. The more that way you take it, the smaller they come out. Now, they have in-between sizes, as you can see. And what I tend to do, I tend to put it on, I say number 2 or 3, because my customers prefer slightly bigger kindling, but not too big, all right? Now, one thing I will say is I have got to make a marking for this, because sometimes when I'm on site, if Jake changes it or a customer changes it, so I've got customers who are familiar with these, they like to change it, and they go, oh, do you mind if I quickly change size? I go, yeah, go for it. And sometimes I can't remember if they've twisted it over. So I try and keep it one way around, and I've got my set presets on there. I go, right, 3 ins that, 5 ins that, whatever, right? So hopefully that is the right way around. Now, what we've got to bear in mind is everyone's Kindle is different. You can put it on the smallest setting, you can put it on the biggest setting, however you want to do it, right? Everyone's stuff is different. Now, my customers have preferred for a while now longer and slightly thicker Kindling. And don't ask me why. They say it's a lot better, they have preferred it. They're not into the 4-6 inch sort of size Kindling. They prefer 8 to 10 inch. And listen, no dirty minds here, all right? And they prefer it thicker than thinner, just because they say it creates a better bed. Now, I'm not going to argue with my customers, right? Quite regularly, we do little email campaigns asking what they think, what they prefer. We use the log burner chat, and this is what we've done. And I can tell you, from my point of view and my perspective and my business, is definitely increased sales of Kindling. Anyway, so we have got that set up, conveyor set up. Now we have got a little bit of ash left in the chamber from me earlier, just running some oversized through. Okay, now again, we are a bit upside down here because we are moving a lot of stuff around, getting ready for our new setup. I've got what, 3-4 buckets max here. I'm the man of 2 buckets, so I'm going to put this through. I'm going to keep it. Yeah, I'm not going to do a time lapse. I'm going to show it on a timer to see how quick this fills up. Okay. Now, one thing you can do as well, just for those of you who don't know, you can turn the splitting speed. There it is, splitting speed up and down. Now, when I do Kindling, I can keep up with it pretty well. So I put it on max speed, so we get max output in a short amount of time. Now, remember the first half of this video, it took, what, an hour, if that included loading the deck and all, and you know, taking it around to do a load of rings. There's still another bucket or 2 of rings round there. So it takes no time at all. So let's say, for example, one day you do some cutting, and then another day you do some, you know, Kindling splitting, you set it up. Again, it's 2 pins. Take the pin out, sol it over, drop it back in, done. All right, if you can do that, what, 5-6 times a year, you'll have a hell of a lot of Kindling there. Just run it an hour at a time. All right, that's what I do, and I always stay ahead. And in the next video, I'm going to show you our netting contraption that we made. Got some good ideas, and yeah, we'll go from there. So we start by turning the machine up. She's on full whack. Let's turn her on and see what she comes out as. Now remember, the first few bits are going to be ash. There might be a few big bits just to get it started, so I didn't clear out the chamber. Try and stop it from going in the machine. To me, they're still a bit too big, so that must mean I put it on the wrong way round. Let's have a quick check. Needs to be literally one little bit shorter. Thinner is a better answer to that, sorry. Perfect. Let's go again. Simply roll them on. That's all you got to do. You can see how quick this pile goes down. So that's the other stuff coming out. Turn the conveyor up a tad. Yeah. Let's have a look. Beautiful kindling, beautiful. Look at this, it's all going to plan for once. Small bits, slightly bigger bits, nothing too much. The customers love it. Now just remember, this wrap is not how we do things. We do not leave wrap on it because it will not dry very well. This is just for demonstration. We don't use IBCs, that's just us. You can use IBCs, you might have to put some chicken mesh around it, but the gaps are too wide, your kindling will go everywhere when you're transporting it. I'd say we're halfway full already. It's been near enough no time. Jake, can you do me a favour? What? Once you fill that bag, can you go and grab me one or two of the wooden crates out of there that are up by the portaloo? Just to put his kindling in.
Can I do it when I get back?
Well, I'm about full.
Oh.
So as you can see, I just asked Jake to go fetch two of our wooden crates. As you can see, you can manage it so well, okay? No problems at all. I always check the front to see what we're looking at. Could have done with tightening the conveyor a little bit on it. I haven't fully tightened it up. I don't like doing it when it's running. I've caught my finger before, believe it or not. Look at that, she's pretty much full. No time at all. Now, in all fairness, because I don't really use those IBC cages, I don't actually know the sort of quantity that is in there at the minute, how many of our nets you'll get from it. So I might film that as well. Maybe not in this video, I'll do it for the next video, film it going up, but look at that, beautiful. So at the minute you can see the kindling starting to fill more one side than the other. So solution, turn the conveyor up. Maybe turn it up a little too fast. I bet there's a good, easily 30 nets of our nets out there, and our nets are bigger anyway. Good 30 nets in that cage, easy. If not, 40 to 50 probably, I'm not sure, I'll have to check. Stop the machine, let the excess come up. There we go. Right. Well, Jake goes and grabs a crate. Usually we have them all set up, but I didn't realise how many rings I really did, to be fair, for this. Our crates are slightly, I bet they're about the same size, different widths, dimensions, but this is what I'm saying. You've got so many here, look, that are falling out the back. We don't like that because it just makes a mess when you carry it around. It is what it is. Again, this was for demonstration purposes, so there's no point in me overfilling it anymore because it'll just fall out when we move. But there is so much kindling in such a little amount of time, and that's what I love about this machine. You can use it for so many different things. This is how our customers like the kindling, okay? I don't know if I'm in frame, but that's how they like it. Not too thin, not too thick, just right, but in my opinion. Now, don't get me wrong, you get some thinner pieces in there, but in all fairness, they don't go much bigger than what you've just seen, which is what we like, because as the customer said, too thin, you have to put a lot on to get it going. I'm not too sure. They say it burns out too quickly, it's really dry, you don't get a good ash bed. They said that there's not an in-between between the normal logs and the kindling, so they want to be just a little bit thicker, not too bad, and then anything else they can rubbish through the bag and get some in-between sizes. That's their business, however they like their fires is up to them, but if it makes them happy, that is our #1 goal, and it should be your #1 goal too. So who knows, ask them, would you like some bigger kindling? Would you like some thicker kindling? Get to know your customer, because again, if it weren't for me asking, then I would never have known. I've always been, you know, the standard type of, you know, kindling seller, you know, buy it in, I followed the rules, 6 inches, you know. So currently we have these cages crates that we use. This isn't quite the one we use. So the ones we use are pretty solid all the way around. They have like, if I say a minuscule gap, they have a minuscule gap. We do get them for free, so I can't complain. This is just one that we used to stock up a bit of off-cut crappy wood for. Now again, this is pure for demonstration purposes. We have got quite a bit of kindling at the minute, so we don't actually need that much. But I guess in a way you can't have too much kindling. You know, it's always one of them things that run out when you need it most. Beautiful. Look, yeah, waiting for it now. Now this one might be a bit too wide for it. Oh no, she went in. Beautiful. Now you've all seen the logs that come off this. The fact he does kindling is just a bonus. This is going to fill up in minutes. When they're a bit of a tight squeeze, sometimes I struggle to go through. I could widen it, but it works a lot better like this, so she'll do just fine. crate's not in the very best of shape, but it'll do for the purpose of the video. What am I doing? Hopefully we can finish this before it gets dark, because I don't want the video to be rubbish. Start the machine back up again. I'll load a few on. And then show you what's going on. Actually a lot harder than it looks trying to film and do this. You don't want to break the camera, you see. You've got to buy some bits and bobs, get the smaller ones on the machine. It's been about an hour now. So, you get the gist. By the time you've shot round, or by the time you've rang someone, you know, find out availability, got a call back, if you have the time, then, you know, make it yourself. But I find it pretty easy to make myself, and I'm a busy person, you know. You all see how busy I am. Look, I'll say it before, I'll say it again. This machine, I've seen other versions of this, don't get me wrong, like you've got the auto split, you've got all sorts. So you've got like the posh sort of brand as EHS, I think may or may not do one, don't quote me on that one. But my point is, for the price point, right, we don't have to mess around with cutting them into, you know, billets almost, you know, to get them through. We can literally just put anything up to 400, yeah, I bet you get 430 on there easy, because you got to allow for the roll, you know, diameter on there, and I haven't got to worry about it. We can spend, I don't know, let's say if I've done it once before, I've spent a good few hours on it. So we had one person on the Uniforest making rings, and I was on here. The amount of kindling we got done in such a small amount of time is ridiculous. Literally just over an hour, I've got 2 massive crates done. They're about 2 cubic meter crates there, and I've got an IBC that's 1.2. Okay, so that's 5.2 loose cubic meters full of kindling. You couldn't ask for more. I think for the price point, you can also do logs and kindling. You haven't got to buy a kindling machine. And remember what Peter said. So I'll attach a link, it'll pop up somewhere above me in a minute to the video. You got the Splitta, I think it's Kindling 240, I think it is, or something like that. Okay, that's the, or the Kindling, I think it is. I can't remember, but that's 240 volts, okay? So it can run off normal mains electric, and you've got to crack things in half to get things in, okay? And then you've got this. So this is faster than that because of the max diameter it can take. Now again, you want to aim for knot 3. I got some pretty good larch bars here. There's a bit of Douglas there, but mainly larch. Knot 3 is key. You don't want jams, you don't want crush up kindling. You want it to come out just nice, just right. Put this on max speed, big diameter, that will outperform the basic version of the Kindling. However, when it comes to the Kindling Pro, whilst you don't have the versatility of this, you can produce kindling so much faster, okay? Now, the answer for me, is it worth, you know, me buying it in? I'm gonna say for me personally, unless I fall behind, no. That is my honest answer. Now, for you, is it worth you buying a kindling machine just for kindling? Unless you sell a lot of nets a year, think how long that will take to pay off. So you will have to increase, unless you buy a second-hand one, but you'll have to increase production, sales, maybe off a trade, wholesale. You know, there's a lot, farm shops, there's a lot more that goes into, let's say, that sort of side of production. Do you need to split logs and split kindling? There you go, invest. Buy one, get one. I don't get paid for saying this. I'm just saying what works for me and what I'd recommend to someone else. This can split firewood and split kindling and do a blimmin' good job of it. So again, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. See you soon.